Hey, welcome into another edition of Rapid Recap. I'm Zack Carpenter. He is Steve Marik, and we are breaking down Nebraska's 26-9 loss to Illinois on Saturday from here at Memorial Stadium. Really, a few storylines come out of it, but number one, not to bury the lead or anything, it's Casey Thompson, the Huskers quarterback situation. About 6.5 minutes left in the second quarter. Casey Thompson took one hit, a sack, threw an interception on the play. He suffered what looked like a hand injury. And frankly, Illinois, they had this vaunted pass rush coming in. It was the best or second best in the Big Ten, one of the best in the entire country. Up till that point, they'd only had one quarterback hurry, but one hit did it. One hit up the middle and took them out of the game.
One hit changed the direction of that game because once it happened, Nebraska's offense was just stuck in mud without Casey Thompson. Logan Smothers was actually the backup quarterback to come in first in the first series after Thompson's injury. It was a 3-and-out if I remember correctly, but then after that it was the Chubba Purdy show, and Chubba just did not look good. He doesn't have a lot of experience here. I believe it's a tough situation coming off the bench and playing a second half with the first team offense that you don't have a lot of reps with against a defense like Illinois. So it was just a very tough situation. So I mean, you know, it's really tough for Thompson, and that game just completely changed. So
yeah, I mean, if it was the Chubba Purdy show, it's more like a canceled sitcom, I guess, than anything else. It didn't go well. I mean, Logan Smothers, he went in there, and I think Mickey was talking about how it was an option. They wanted more option look. Then went to Chubba, and the offense stalled out, and an offense that already was not. It was actually looking pretty solid in the first half, and there were just some missed opportunities. That was the other storyline I kind of wanted to talk about. Maybe we get that into that more in a second after breaking down the quarterback situation, because asking Travis Vokolek after the game, Ethan Piper after the game, the quarterback situation, they kept saying, I mean, to a man, they said next man up, and that no matter who the quarterback is, it doesn't change how they need to do their jobs, but it does change how this offense looks.
Of course it does, but the players, you know, I tried to ask them questions that would maybe give us hints about, you know, what it's like playing with the different quarterbacks. They all said the same coach speak stuff like they're taught to do, so it was fine. But it was obviously just going to be a different offense when Casey Thompson isn't in there. After the game, Mickey Joseph actually said that Thompson couldn't feel his fingers.
So you could see him; he was staring at his hands.
Yeah, he was just like staring at his hands, like please work, please work. So. Tough situation for Thompson, and tough situation for Nebraska as a whole, because with Thompson out there, I think, you know, they were going to put up more of a fight than they did in the second half. But, you know, that's a woulda, coulda, shoulda. He wasn't out there in the second half. Chubba Purdy struggled mightily. I mean, Illinois just did what Illinois does in the second half, and Chase Brown, 150 or 149 rushing yards and a touchdown. That guy's just really good. Tommy DeVito, the quarterback, was very efficient in the pass game. That's a really good football team that Nebraska lost to today.
Yeah, and just one more point on the quarterback situation is we have said it time and again, like, when is it going to be? When's the hit come?
We've been asking it all season.
Yep.
It came today.
When's the hit going to come where it's going to knock Casey Thompson out of the game, and not just for a play or two or for a couple minutes as he sort of recovers on the field? Today was that day. And again, you saw the Nebraska offense get some of the venom taken out of it, even though it wasn't like it was a well-oiled machine, but they had 9 points up to that point, but settled for a field goal. Casey Thompson threw an interception near the red zone, and to wipe away potentially 3 points there. They had the blocked extra point, potentially 3 points and potentially 7 points on that first drive. Some miscommunication between him and Trey Palmer that proved to be pretty fatal in the end, because I felt like missed opportunities were one of the storylines of this game, with those two interceptions near the end zone, or near the red zone, and the settling for the field goal, the blocked extra point. So this offense didn't really feel like it got going against one of the best defenses in the conference.
And Trey Palmer, too, needed a big game out of Trey Palmer. I think he only finished with one catch, and that was in the first half. obviously just a tough situation offensively for Nebraska with the quarterback situation in the second half. But for Nebraska to win these games, Trey Palmer needs to do Trey Palmer things, and he was kind of shut down today against a really good Illinois defense. So.
Yeah, it was just interesting to see Thompson and Palmer not have the connection that's been so smooth all year, and then had an overthrow to him, and then on that interception. But moving forward, actually, real quick on the defense, kind of wanted to touch on it, because for a defense that has been much maligned this year that we've talked about, got shredded against Purdue, I thought the defense played pretty well. I mean, you had the 2 drives, the 13 play for 70 yards that resulted in a field goal, and 11 plays, 72 yards that resulted in an Illinois touchdown. Outside of those 2 drives that were those back-breaking, grinded-out drives that we had talked about all week that Illinois is known to do, outside of that, I felt like the defense did its part, even though it didn't get from the offense what it needed to.
Yeah, for sure. I think they definitely played well enough to keep this game closer than what it was, but there were a lot of instances, I wouldn't say a lot, but there were instances where there were opportunities to get Illinois off the field, like that. It just sticks in my head, that 2nd and 22 in the first half, and Tommy DeVito runs for like 16 yards, and then Luke Reimer gets called for the unsportsmanlike or late hit out of bounds, and just prolongs the drive, and I think Illinois ended up scoring on that one. So
that was the field goal drive where it was 2nd and 22 after the holding penalty, pushed them back to the Illinois' own 42, so they were in their own territory, 2nd and 22. Then they have that scramble, and then the late hit out of bounds, and they were able to sort of polish off a drive there. Brett Bielema decided to, instead of a 4th and 1, kick a field goal instead of going for it. But on one hand, we're like questioning it, like they could go for the kill shot here. But at the same time, I think Bielema on his side knew it's Chubba Purdy that we're going against. There's not much to be fearful in this Nebraska offense without Casey Thompson in there, and they haven't got much rhythm going through the second half, and really at all throughout most of the game. But now it's on to Minnesota next week, where we don't quite know the kickoff time yet, but another stiff test against another similar style team of that sort of that ground and pound. Yeah,
absolutely. And just like Nebraska is a different team without their starting quarterback, Minnesota is a different team without Tanner Morgan, their starting quarterback. They played today, but I don't know if I wasn't paying attention.
They won 31-0 against.
Okay, well, yeah, they won 31-0, and we'll find out if Tanner Morgan played that one. And if he did, that's a really better Minnesota team that's going to be coming in here than if he's not out there. So yeah, it's not going to get any easier for Nebraska here in these final 4 games now.
Yep, Nebraska's 3-5, 2-3 in the Big Ten after this 26-9 loss to Illinois. Then going to have to recover a little bit, figure out the starting quarterback situation for Minnesota next week. We'll have all the analysis leading up to that game this week at nebraska.rivals.com and on this Inside Nebraska YouTube channel. So keep it locked in here with us, and we'll see you guys again next time.